Will Lamar Jackson break through this year and finally take the Ravens to the Super Bowl? To answer that question, we have to ask another question. Why does he struggle so much in the playoffs? Is he just a playoff choker, or is there other underlying things? And I think there's kind of an easy answer to this. I don't think he's really a playoff choker. We've seen him play well in the playoffs against certain teams like the Texans or even the Steelers last year. Or realistically, if his reputation wasn't so bad now, that game against the Bills would not be held against him. That would have been more or less Mark Andrews fumbling and dropping the ball. But Lamar made a couple of mistakes, and that is held against him because of how his reputation is right now. So talking about that, let's break down why he's been so bad in the playoffs. In my opinion, during the Greg Roman era of the Ravens, which was early days of Lamar, where they were such a run-heavy team, where they still run a lot now, but they can pass a lot better than they used to. Lamar used to struggle a little bit with passing, and I think a lot of that became with Greg Roman's offense. It did not work well in the playoffs. It was a fantastic offense during the regular season, but when you get to the playoffs and crunch time and you need good drives and you can't not rely on your quarterback to make those throws. He was not the best passer for those first few years with Greg Roman. I think when he got Todd Monken, that's when he finally became a elite passer. Before that, he was just an elite athlete. And let's be honest here, an elite athlete that was probably the best athlete in the NFL at the time. And now he is an elite passer and an elite athlete, and he's getting ever so closer to breaking through. So do I think they could do it this year? I think 100% he could kind of break through this year. But why hasn't he broken through the last 2 years with Todd Monken? And I think the biggest answer to that is he wants to win so bad that he plays generally bad against those teams. Against particularly, it was the Steelers and the Chiefs. But I think he's gotten over the hump with the Steelers. He dominated them in 2 games last year. We'll see how this year goes. I don't think the Steelers are quite that thing. And I think there is a thing with Lamar's mental. Why he struggles so much against these top tier teams of Mahomes or the Steelers, because those games mean so much. Because beating Mahomes matters. There was a period of time where it was Lamar or Mahomes. Who's the GOAT right now? You know what I mean? Who's the guy that's going to go after Brady? Is it going to be Mahomes? Is it going to be Lamar? And Mahomes just ran away with that, obviously, because Lamar just cannot beat him and get over that hump. And obviously, to make the Super Bowl in the AFC, you have to get over that hump against Mahomes. So I think that Lamar wants to win so bad that it gets in his head and he plays bad. And I think he's getting out of that mentality. I think he's getting into the mentality that he's gonna go out there and give his best. He's not gonna get in his head and be like, I gotta put up these crazy stats. I gotta go out here and beat Patrick Mahomes with nobody's in my way and all that stuff. I think he's getting out of that area, and why I think he's performing a little bit better in the playoffs. The last 2 years, he's not been quite as bad. The Chiefs-Ravens game was not the best weather in the AFC Championship that they were in, and they were literally a fumble on the 1 yard line from having the game tied and possibly winning that game in the end. And then outside of that, then they played the Chiefs the next year, and they were a toe away from forcing overtime. Or even this last year in the playoffs against Buffalo, where Mark Andrews makes that catch in the end zone. They go in OT. Who knows how that game turns out? Whoever got the ball first probably wins. I think they've changed that. They both get a drive, but either way, whoever gets the ball first is still going to win, because then you get the ball back and you're gonna score again. Either team was scoring twice there. Let's be honest. And I think that he's breaking through slowly. I think he's so close to finally cracking through and making himself into the legend that he is set to be. And he's going to take this Ravens team to the Super Bowl this year. They're my Super Bowl picks. I am a Ravens fan, so it's a little bit biased. But they are my Super Bowl picks. And it's not even that crazy to say. This might be the best Raven team he's had. If they can stay healthy, this is going to be the best defense overall. And they've had some great defenses. But his receiving core is coming in. Zay Flowers is kind of just starting to explode, and Bateman's actually a top tier number 2 receiver because bro caught a lot of touchdowns. He might not have had the yards that some of these other guys have had, but he was putting up touchdowns. Plus, Mark Andrews is still one of the best tight ends in the league, and Isaiah Likely's right there with him. And on top of that, you still have Derrick Henry, who I don't think he ages personally. So I think this is the best Raven team he's had overall in his career, and I think he's so close to just breaking through. I think, honestly, best thing he can do this year right now is beat Kansas City in the regular season. If he can go beat Kansas City in the regular season, I think he has a very high chance. Ooh, punching my mic does not help. I think he has a very high chance of breaking through this year. I think that mentality of, oh man, I gotta win, and it causing him to play bad because he's trying to overplay everything, I think that's going away, and I think Lamar is going to take the step forward and take the Ravens to the Super Bowl. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of content, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out. I'll see you guys in the next